Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about the Monsters at Work trailer. Now, no one's talking about this, and honestly, it's understandable, but for me, I grew up on Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. it's not my favorite Pixar movie. Because, it's just because Pixar has so many good movies. I mean, you got Up, you got fucking Inside Out, you got the Toy Story movies, I got a goddamn, got WALL-E, just saw fucking, Soul. It's a hard decision to make, I'm like, I can't make that decision, man. Like, I think my favorite movie is Toy Story 3, 4, I don't know. There's so many good Pixar movies that it's really hard to make that kind of decision. But I do know that Monsters Inc. was one of my favorites. I saw it a bunch of times, had it on DVD. Me and my mom took me to go see Monsters on Ice. I'll never forget that. It was crazy, man. Like, yeah, we went to go see Monsters on Ice. I was a kid, so I didn't quite get it. In my mind, I was like, okay, so they're gonna tell the story and they're just gonna be on ice. I'm just gonna watch Monsters Inc. They're gonna be in costumes, and it really wasn't like that. It was just weird. But yeah, man, massive Monsters Inc. fan, loved it. And I heard they were making this show. I heard they were making a show. This is supposed to be like a sequel. It's like an unofficial sequel. By the way, comment in the comment section. Are you a fan of Monsters University? I actually dig Monsters University. I saw it a long time ago when it first came out, and I was like, I saw that in the theaters by myself. It was one of the first movies I ever went to a theater to go see. And I remember being like, I really like this movie. I dug it. I don't know if I dig it more than the first Monsters Inc., but I really dig it. And I remember distinctly hearing people talk back. That was the first, Monsters University was probably the first movie ever where I remember liking something and other people being like, I don't know about, and it kind of affected me because I was like, oh shit, I don't think other people like this movie, so I don't know, man. I mean, I like it, but I'm just gonna keep that shit to myself, But I dug Monsters University. I really thought that was good. I really liked Monsters University a lot. But either way, Monsters at Work is a sequel to the original Monsters Inc. And this takes place almost immediately, maybe a couple months after the end of Monsters Inc. And if you haven't seen Monsters Inc. in a long time, because that movie came out a long time ago, you maybe haven't rewatched it. The end of Monsters Inc. It ended up ending with Sully and Mike just pretty much figuring out that laughter is actually more powerful than crying in fear. So the whole Monsters, Inc., the whole Monsters Incorporated, the whole company changed their entire business structure to be geared more towards making children laugh than to making children scared. It's not they changed the whole fucking business structure. I mean, a lot of people died. A lot of people, what's his face got arrested. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've seen it. Spider-Man got arrested. The Spider guy who was running the place got arrested. Sid got arrested. Or Sid died. He didn't got arrested or died. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know he didn't go too well for him. A lot of shit flipped upside down, and they started running the ship a bit differently. And we don't really know what happened after that. We kind of saw a glimpse of it. In the end, Mike and Soul flipped roles, because Mike can make kids laugh. And, Soul could and Soul's running the machine now. The more funnier monsters, are replacing the scary monsters because they don't have to be scary anymore, so they flipped roles. But the show and the trailer kind of hints, I kind of heard about this a while ago, that this one dude who went to, because like I said, if you watch both the movies, they literally got a university that's it's not dedicated to people being scarers, scarers for a living, but it's the best course you could have is being a fucking scarer, in that school. And it's one dude's and some new guy coming out of that school. He was the top of his class. He's the best scarer ever. This dude's supposed to be the hot shit. He's gonna be the next top scarer. He's gonna replace Saul. He's gonna be the next best scarer. And then he gets there and he realizes that everything's changed. Could you imagine that? Just think about that for a second. Could you imagine training your ass off to do something? Just for it to be taken down. You know what that'd be like? That would be like being a punter or a kicker in the NFL. You've trained your whole life. You got to college. You done this. You done that. You are the best kicker ever. People are saying you might be a Hall of Fame kicker. You get to the NFL and they say, "Oh yeah, we got rid of the kickers." yeah, we don't have field goals anymore. We're just, we're just 2-point conversions. We don't actually kick field goals or kick off anymore. Sorry, man. You imagine that? That's basically what happened to this guy. Trained his whole life for a specific thing, but then be like, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. Not only that, he's in this whole other subdivision their job isn't even to be involved in the actual, going through the doors and shit. Their whole job is about fixing the doors. So imagine that. Not only do you get to the place where you're thinking you were gonna do this job that you've been training your whole life to do, but once you get there, not only you're not doing that job, they tell you to be the water boy. That's basically what's happening to him. They're like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. Hey, you get some water though? But I'm one of the greatest kickers of all time. Yeah, but we don't use kickers anymore, so, I mean, you can be the water boy if you want to. That's basically what happened to this dude. And there is some charming to... Now, I am worried about this show. Because, first of all, it's not being made by Pixar. That is worrisome. But Billy Crystal and John Goodman are coming back to voice the characters in this. So that's good. Seems like they're taking over. It seems like basically they're running the show now. They're the heads of the Monsters Inc. now, which is pretty fun. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a little bit, at least the way this show feels. I don't know if you because if you're my age range, you grew up with those old two like Emperor's New Groove and Timon and Pumbaa when they used to come out with those animated shows that were like sequels to the movies, but like, I don't really apart, like, sequels to the movies. I remember the Emperor's New School, if you remember that. If you remember the Emperor's New School. It's kind of what it reminds me of a bit. It's like just a sequel to the show. It's not that big of a deal. It's a sequel to a bigger thing. I think, did they ever come out in Atlanta? They came out with Lilo and Stitch. They did come out with a Lilo and Stitch show, didn't they? Did they? Yeah. I'm going crazy, man. It's been a long time since I've seen this stuff. But you guys know I'm a huge fan of animation. I'm a big animation guy. Like, animation is my thing. I love animation. I think animation is pretty much is limitless. Like, I think animation is limitless and what it can tell. I'm still, hurting from DuckTales getting canceled. That was some good animation stuff for you. That was some really good animation stuff. We just got done watching Invincible, which I thought was some stellar animation. Castlevania with some stellar animation. Like I said, like, animation is some of my favorite stuff. That's partially why I like the anime. That's really why I didn't get into anime for the stories, for the characters, because people told me to. It's because I'm into animation. So, if you're into animation, eventually you're gonna be watching anime. But there is one problem though, and you'll see it in the trailer. Go look it up. The Monsters at Work trailer. There's one problem. And since it's not made by Pixar, the animation is nowhere near as good. Now, Pixar is making a show, but it's an original show. It's not a sequel. They're making some show. I can't remember the name of it. You'd have to go look it up. Pixar is making a show. I don't know when it's coming out. But this show is not made by Pixar. This is a Disney show. They're making the Disney animators are working on this, but not even the best Disney animator because it just looks a bit off. It doesn't look as crisp. I take it back. It looks just like the original Monsters Inc. Problem is the original Monsters Inc. CGI isn't that crisp. Like, in comparison, I mean, you go back and look at Toy Story 1 compared to Toy Story 4. Don't even do that. It will make you go. I tried that. Because when Toy Story 4 was coming out, I was like, I'll rewatch all the Toy Stories. Man, I was like, dude, this ain't even in the same league, man. Like, the shit they got going on now to see with the fucking with the details, and Toy Story 4 looks like it's almost happening. Like, if it wasn't for the talking fucking toys, you might think that was real life shit. Like the water and the sidewalk and how things look, the textures, and Toy Story 4 looked amazing. It deserved to win Best Animated Picture. I know some people bag on Toy Story 4 because it shouldn't have happened, but who gives a fuck if it's good? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I'm sure some people are going to say, who cares if it's good? So, Toy Story 4 shouldn't even exist. Yeah, but it was great, wasn't it? Well, yeah, it was great, but I want to shut the fuck up. Like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about stuff like that. When I heard people bitching about sequels, I'm like, well, was it good? If it's bad, then you can tell me about it. But if it's good, then shut the fuck up. Like that's how I feel. But back to Monsters at Work. I am a bit worried about the animation style because it does look a bit cheaper than, Pixar has been lately. It doesn't even look as good as some of the more modern Disney. Like, Raya looked amazing. Like Raya, like all the complaints some people have with that movie, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was just traditional, straightforward, adventure storytelling. It didn't revolutionize the world, but it was just straightforward. No one complained about how it looked. It looked amazing, and I will admit, Disney seems like, as much as I want Disney to really, like, sink their teeth into this, put more money into this, because I was imagining, when I heard about this project, I was imagining basically watching a sequel to Monsters Inc. long form on TV. With the budget of Monsters Inc., with the animation style of Monsters Inc., just all long form on TV. That's what I was imagining. Otherwise, I'd rather just see a Monsters Inc. sequel. Because at least I could get the great animation work, I could get a great story, but this isn't written by Pixar, this isn't animated by Pixar, it's just using Pixar characters. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's good. I'll check out the first episode when it comes out, and I'll review that and tell you how I feel about the rest of it. But, like I said, I'm a huge Monsters, Inc. fan. I love the original movie. I dug the hell out of Monsters University. I went to see Monsters on Ice when I was a child. So like I said, me and Monsters, Inc. We got a relationship. I probably still got the mug that we got there. Like they gave you like a snow cone, and they put it in like this little Sully like mug head or something like that. Like Mike, it was like a Mike head. I can't remember, but it was great. It was great, man. I'll never forget that. Never forget Monsters, Inc. And that's an interesting world too. Like the way it looks, like especially when you watch University, that's an interesting world. I'm a world guy. I don't care if it's here, there, or where. I am a world guy. So I just see stuff and I just go, I wonder what about this? Like, I'm just that guy. Like, honestly, I feel like if I sat in a room full of dudes who are just writing some kid show, like writing Paw Patrol, I would just be like, but what if this happened? I mean, but what about the world building here? Like, this is for children. I'd be like, but I mean, you can do more with this. I mean, it doesn't have to just be for children. I mean, it can be for children and people of all ages if you want to. Like, that would be me. I would be in the room talking to the Paw Patrol guys. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you can do more with that. I mean, I'm just saying, you can probably do more with that. Like, I'm telling you, like, I am in. I don't care where it is. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Movie Show again. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.